Yes, welcome back to the part number 40 of What Religion Is. We have reached on page number 33. So here we go. Then there is the emotional man who loves the sublime and the beautiful to an excessive degree. He loves to think of the beautiful, to enjoy the aesthetic side of nature, and to adore love and the God of love. He loves with his whole heart the great soul of all times, the prophets of religions. Then there is the mystic whose mind wants to analyze his own self, to understand the workings of the human mind, what the forces are that are working inside, and how to know, manipulate, and obtain control over them. This is the mystical mind. Then there is the philosopher who wants to weigh everything and use his intellect even beyond the possibilities of all human philosophy. Now, a religion to satisfy the largest portion of mankind must be able to supply food for all these various types of minds. And when the capability is wanting, the existing sects of all become one sided. Suppose you go to a sect which preaches love and emotions, they sing and weep and preach love. But as soon as you say, my friend, that's all right, but I want to, I want something stronger, and this a little reason and philosophy. I want under, I, I want to understand things step by step and more rationally. Get out, they say. Get out, they say. The result is that sect can only help people of an emotional turn of mind. They not only do not help others, but try to destroy them. They not only do not help others, but try to destroy them. And the most wicked part of the whole thing is that they will not only not help others, but do not believe in their sincerity. Again, there are philosophers who talk of the wisdom of India and the East, and use big psychological terms, 50 syllables long, you know. But if an ordinary man like me goes to them and says, can you tell me anything to make me spiritual? The first thing they will do will be to smile and say, oh, you are too far below us in your reasoning, okay? And what can you understand about spirituality? These are high up philosophers. They simply show you the door. Then there are the mystical sects who speak all sorts of things about different planes of existence, different states of mind, and what the power of the mind can do, and so on. If you are in an ordinary man and say, so there's something good that can I do, I'm not much given, no speculations, can you give me anything that will suit me? They will smile and say, listen to that fool, he knows nothing, his existence is for nothing. And this is going to go on everywhere in the world. What I want to propagate is a religion that will be equally acceptable to all minds. It must be equally philosophic, equally emotional, equally mystic, and equally conducive to actions. And this combination will be the ideal, the nearest approach to a universal religion. Would to God that all men were so constituted that in their minds all these elements were equally present in full. That is the ideal, my ideal of a perfect man. Everyone who has only one or two of these elements of character, I consider it as one sided. And this world is almost full of each one sided man with knowledge of that one rule. only need in which they move and everything else is dangerous and horrible to them. To become harmoniously balanced in all these four directions is my ideal of religion. And this religion is attained by what we in India call yoga. Yoga means union. Union with whom? Union with God. To the worker of its union between man and the whole of humanity. To the mystic between his lower and the higher self. To the lover union between self and the God of love. And to the philosopher it is the union of all existence. This is what meant by yoga. This is a Sanskrit term. And these four divisions of yoga have a Sanskrit different names. The man who seeks after this kind of union is called yogi. The worker is called a karma yogi, he who seeks the union through love is called bhakti yogi. He who seeks it through mysticism is called a raja yogi, and he who seeks through philosophy is called jnana yogi. So this word yogi comprises them all. You know, karma yogi, raja yogi, prema yogi, or bhakti yogi, or jnana. In this country, you associate all sorts of overt things with the word yoga. I'm afraid, therefore, I must start be telling you that it has nothing to do with such things. No one of this yoga gives up reason. No one of them asks you to be hoodwinked or to deliver your reason into the hands of priests of any type of whatsoever. What one of them asks that you should give your allegiance to a superhuman messenger. Each one of them tells you to cling to your reason, to hold fast to it. We find in all beings these sorts of instruments of knowledge. The first is instinct, which is you find most highly developed in animals. This is the lowest instrument of knowledge. What is the second instrument of knowledge is reasoning. We find that most highly developed in a man. Now, in the first place, instinct is an inadequate instrument to animals. The sphere of action is very limited, and within the limit, instinct acts. When you come to man, you see it largely developed into reason. The sphere of action also has here become enlarged, but even reason is still insufficient. Reason can go only a little way and then it stops. It cannot go any further, and if you try to push it, the result is helpless confusion. Reason itself becomes unreasonable. Logic becomes argument in a circle. Take, for instance, the very basis of our perceptions, matter and force. What is matter? That which is acted upon by force, and force, that which acts upon matter. What is matter again? We will understand. That which is acted upon by force. What is force? That which acts upon matter. You see the complication. What the logician, call a seesaw, one idea depending on the other. And again, depending on that, you find a mighty barrier before reason, beyond which reasoning cannot go, that it always feels impatient to get into the region of infinite beyond. This world, this universe, which our senses feels or our mind thinks is but one atom, so to say, of the infinite projected onto the plane of consciousness. Within that narrow limit defined by the network of consciousness works our reason, and not network. Within that narrow limit defined by the network of consciousness works our reason, and not beyond. Therefore, there must be some other instrument to take us beyond, and that instrument is called inspiration. So, instinct, reason, and inspiration are the three instruments of knowledge. Instinct belongs to animals, reason to man, and inspiration to God. But in all human beings are to be found in more or less developed condition of the germs of all these three instruments of knowledge. To have these mental instruments evolved, the germs must be there, and this must also be remembered that one instrument is a development of another and therefore does not contradict it. It is reason that develops into inspiration, and therefore inspiration does not contradict reason but fulfills it. Things which reason cannot get that are brought to light by inspiration, and they do not contradict reason. The old man does not contradict the child but fulfills the child. Therefore, you must always bear in mind that the great danger lies in mistaking the lowest or lower form of instruments to the higher. Many times, instinct is presented before the world as inspiration, and then come all the spurious claims to the gift of prophecy, a fool or a semi-lunatic thinks that the confusion is going on in his brain is inspiration, and he wants man to follow him. The most contradictory, irrational nonsense that has been preached in the world is simply the instinctive jargon and confused lunatic brains trying to pass for the language of inspiration. Yes, so we have reached on the page number 37, first stanza, okay, and we will discuss on it today. Thank you. Welcome to this is towards the part 40, okay.